Hi, welcome back to the podcast. So we're doing video again because that was really, really fun. And also I have no script. So guys, bear with me while I gather all of my thoughts together because I really just wanted this to just be another little catch up. I feel like it's so valuable to watch entrepreneurs go through the different conversations, hurdles, changes, upgrades, all of those things in public. My mentor even challenged me to build this thing in public because I kind of am starting over in my business. And so that's what this episode is around. It is around what's coming because I know we did a vision casting at the beginning of 2026 and so much has changed. The universe literally, God threw me a loop, but he removed the things that were keeping me where I was in order to get me to where I'm going. And I think that is what is important, is we're just going to do a little catch up. So a couple weeks ago, I've talked about this on social media. So if you've already heard the story, bear with me. So for the last 4 years, I have been serving entrepreneurs as a VA and an OBM. Now, I have had one specific long-term client, but I have also done different projects and tasks and support and all of those things with other clients in between all of that, right? But there's been one consistent long-term client. And about 2 weeks ago, we decided to part ways professionally. We're still really good friends, but where she was going in her business, where I want to go in mine, it just no longer aligns. You would expect your nervous system to kind of freak out. You don't know where money's coming from. That was literally my bread and butter. That is what paid my bills, put food on my table. And I would have expected my body to just literally stall out, freak out, send me in a spiral. I've struggled with depression in the past, so I was really prepared for my body to react a certain way, because also this came out of left field. It wasn't something that we were preparing for. It was just a conversation we had and it led to a decision. And so while I was preparing for my body to do these things, it never happened. And that is what tells me that God has his hand in all of this, because if you have peace during a traumatic moment, during a disaster, during a moment that literally probably should break you, but you're feeling peace and you're feeling excitement and you're feeling joy, that's God, okay? So when it happened, that's what I felt like. I was sad in the sense of I'm not someone who has a lot of stability in her life, never have had a lot of stability in her life. The only stable thing that I have is literally my marriage and my kids. Even his career, it takes us all over the world all of the time. We've been at this for 14 years that he's been in the military. He joined the military literally right after we got married. We got married in December, and then he had joined that previous April. So it's been 14 years that we've been doing this. And within those 14 years, we've moved 9 times in 14 different houses. Okay, did you hear me? 9 times, 14 different houses. So when I tell you, stability has never been something that I have ever had. Even growing up, we were always moving, things were always changing. And I think that is what has helped me be so resilient during this change as well, is I have learned to surrender and trust God through everything. I truly know that he has our back, and there is nothing that can be taken away from us that is meant for us. God is always going to take something away and replace it 10 times fold, right? And that is what I felt in the moment when me and my client decided to part ways. So I joined a VA academy just to up level, see if there was anything that I was missing, which, not to say in an egotistical way, but I am pretty proud of the career I have built. I am pretty proud of the skill sets that I've had, the referrals that I've had. Everything thus far has been word of mouth. Every client that I have worked with has been word of mouth. So I haven't really had to try hard. But now that we're rebuilding, I have to put some effort into this. And so I was talking with my mentor, I was talking with some friends, and I've decided that we are building an agency. This isn't just going to be a one-man show anymore. We are building an agency and we are shooting for the moon, because the thing is I am one person, but I know that I am such a good leader, because even the clients that I've worked for, I have helped their team grow. I have helped train people in different kinds of aspects of their job and their skill sets. And everyone that I've worked with has always referred to me as a leader. Everyone that I've worked with has always referred to me as someone that they can look up to, that really supports people in their growth and really helps make sure that people understand that it's not about me and what I gain, but it's about I gain my success because I support you in your success. And I feel like that's a huge part of leadership that not a lot of people really own. And this took a lot of self-reflection for me to even want to own this, because my entire life I was told to be quiet. I was told to be, in the behind the scenes just do what you're told, whatever, all of those things, right? And so this took a lot of self-reflection and a lot of brutal honesty and a lot of understanding that it is not egotistical and it is not a bad thing to own your skills and to own who you are and to be very freaking proud of that. And I am so proud of how far I have come. So with that, I was sitting with like, where do I want my business to go next? And when I was talking to my friend, I was like, I really enjoy the higher level parts of business. Not that I can't get into the weeds of a business, because I love that too. Like, I grew my business by learning the skill sets of like different tech and automations and systems and all of the thing. But I do really enjoy like the higher level part of a business, really strategizing with the CEO, really taking their vision and finding ways to implement it and get it across the finish line so that they can stay in their zones of genius. I really enjoy managing a team, managing projects, timelines, those kinds of things. Like, I love the little bit of a higher level touch points when it comes to a CEO. And so she was like, you should be building an agency then. Like, you're really good at leadership. You're really good at managing time and projects and timelines and deadlines and all of the deliverables and the processes and the client journey and communications and all of the things. Like, that is something that I am really gifted at. And I'm also very assertive, but in a way that I bring compassion and like integrity and collaboration into my leadership style. And so when she said agency, I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But part of me was because it was like an identity thing of like, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I'm capable of doing that. And I was like, that's so funny, because I've already trained so many people without intentionally training so many people. Like, proof is in the pudding. I have the evidence. It is fine. And when she said it, I was like, you know what? That actually does sound good, because a lot of people in this industry will tell you to, like, there are only a certain ways to scale your company. Like, you have to remove yourself from the equation. You have to build all of these digital assets and these courses and all of these things. Remove yourself, make more money, and all of these things. But that's not what I feel true in my heart. Now, I'm not saying I'm against digital assets, because that's going to be a different part of this podcast. But what I'm saying is, like, me as a person, I truly enjoy getting in the weeds of someone's business. I love being able to be like putting the little dots together, putting the pieces together, and then seeing what happens afterwards. For an example, last month I did freedom calls, and I was doing free freedom calls as I was building the skill set to see if that was something that I wanted to do in the sense of like mentorship, right? And higher level touch points. And so I did a few of them, but the one that like was probably my favorite was I was working with this girl. We jumped on for an hour. We talked about her business. We got into the weeds of like how her emails were working, what she wanted support in, because she has a really good like retention rate. She has a really good bringing people into her world rate. She's very magnetic. People love conversating with her. She converts really, really well. But on the back end, like the email funnel wasn't converting. Now, I saw that it was like 20 something days long. And I was like, we should probably shorten that. And then I was like, when people opt in, what happens after they opt in? She's like, well, they get thrown into the email. And then at the very end of it, that's when I pitched them like my one-on-one offer. And I was like, that is way too long to be pitching people, or way too long to pitch people. People have already lost interest at that point, or like they've moved on to something different. And also they may not even be reading your emails, because like after 20 something days, they may just think it's like information versus like actual transformation that's coming in. And so we worked that a little bit. I sent her that, but I was like, before you even do that, what I think would be really beneficial, and I talked about this in the last episode when it comes to funnel building, is fixing your front end funnel. And so we tweaked the front end funnel so when people opt in, they get a redirect automatically that offers them a super, super special discount on that one-on-one offer that they get at the end of the email funnel. And she did that, and she immediately sold a one-on-one offer. And I was like, this is the stuff I love. I love that part of business of really being able to use my brain and just see pieces and connect. Now, side note, I'm a projector, and apparently everyone says that that's exactly what I should be doing. And it feels so aligned for me. So anyways, that is kind of where I'm at. Is I am building an agency, not I am building, it is built, it is here, okay? And what that looks like is if you are someone who has a business, or you're even wanting to build a business, but like you don't want to do it alone and you don't even really know where to start, but you know that you can't be the one to do everything, right? So within that, that is where you call me, text me, DM me, we connect. We do a 30-minute little strategy session, meaning like, what is your business? Who are you serving? How do you want to show up? What are the things that you're doing that are taking you out of your zone of genius? Are you someone who is like literally still setting up the tech? Like you're like, I have this launch. I need to set up all of the automations. I need to set up all of the zaps, all of the mini chats, all of the emails, all of the things. And then by the end of that, you're so exhausted that you don't even actually launch the thing. That is where we come in. So we are set up to be able to support you in those things. And I am bringing more people on right now. I'm building out my little Rolodex of VAs and OBM that are going to support me in this agency. And my dream and my desire is to have something for everything. Like if you have podcasts, you have design work you need, like all of those things, I want my agency to be able to support you in. Right now, it is mostly OBM work. So that is where we're at currently. And if you are interested in working together, all you have to do is go to the show notes. There's a link where you can book your little 30-minute session, or you can just DM me agency and I'll send you the link there. But I'm very, very excited about this because I truly feel like this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And the funny thing is I sent an email about this, I think it was last night, but I was telling everyone, I was announcing the agency and opening up the books, and we already even signed our first client without even trying. That one was like almost like a little bit of a word of a mouth situation. And I was talking to my kids about it because I was like, I talk to my kids about everything. I want them to understand how decision-making skills work. I want them to understand what critical thinking is. I want them to understand how to make the decision that feels the most aligned for them and God-led. And so we pretty much talk to our kids about everything. And so I told them last night that I was in the middle of discussing 2 different paths for my career. And I had an interview where if that pulls through, which it feels and seems like it's going to, that I would be getting $65K, but I'd be a W-2. There's pros and cons to all of that. And, I'd be less available for them. I would have to ask for time off, all of those things. Or I can go all in on my business and really get this to where I want it to be and where I can see it. And we were going through all the pros and cons. They were asking me tons of questions. And my kids were literally like, you tell us every single day to follow our dreams. Like, you support us in our dreams almost every single day. So can we do that for you too? Can we just maybe not go to Chick-fil-A as much as we do? Can we maybe just not go to Target as much as we do? And they were so smart, and everything that they were thinking through has been what I have taught them to do. And so that's where we're at. Is the agency is open. We already have our first client, and there's different ways that you can work with me. There are different packages. There's 10 hours, there's 15, there's 30, there's 75 if you're someone that's I need full-time support. There is a package for everything, and I am so open to the conversation on what you need. Maybe you only need 5 hours a month at the beginning. I'm okay with that because I truly, truly, truly believe in supporting people where they are and being able to let them know that where you are is not the same as where everyone else is. And I know some people will hire VAs for 20 hours a month, but if you really are just I really could use support for 5 hours a month and that would literally change my business, message me, because that's important. Whatever you need, whatever kind of support you need, message me and let's talk about it, because I truly, truly, truly understand the value of not only chasing your dreams, but having the team behind you to do that. So if that is not you, if you are I'm honestly someone who would really prefer to be a solopreneur, I am someone who really would prefer to just be taught how to do these things because maybe you enjoy those things as well, or maybe even you're a VA or an OBM and you're wanting to grow your skill set, you're wanting to understand how to help someone support their business to grow and do these things as well. I have something coming. It is called Scale Like a Girl. I'm working on building it out right now. That's a lot of what that is back there. But my methodology is simple, soft, and scalable. If it is not simple, soft, or scalable, we're not doing it, because we are moms building businesses that need to be able to support us in our life, and it doesn't need to take us out of our life. I have been saying the word presence freedom for the longest time too. I have a whole series on it. If you want the presence freedom series, it is free. It is a private podcast. I will put it in the show notes as well. But I truly believe that we can have a business that is a freaking rock star business that scales, that impacts people, that really creates a true community and trust and connection and profit, while also still being present at home, while also still being the mom that does the laundry, cooks the dinners, reads the bedtime stories, goes chaperones on the field trip. Like, all of those things can be true at the same time. Two things can be true at the same time. My hair is in my ear, so ignore me. So that's what I truly believe. So if you're someone who is not ready to hire a team yet, but you're wanting to learn, you're wanting to grow, you're wanting to start implementing these simple systems like I talked about with the front end funnels and stuff like that, I am building the program again called Scale Like a Girl. It might be changed to Scale Like a Mama. Y'all can vote on it, but I truly, like, every time I go to say it, I started calling it Scale Like a Girl, but every time I say it or write it, it ends up being Scale Like a Mama. And I think it's just because it's my branding. But anyway, so if you see the change, it's the same thing. It is just, we're working on the words, but I'm building in public and I'm showing you guys what I'm doing as I do that. So what it is a membership. So I'm literally taking my entire brain and I'm putting it into a membership. Now, please do not get overwhelmed immediately, because there are going to be certain sections based off of where you are in your business. So simple stands for simple automations, like autoresponders on your email, having a schedule, like, are you wanting to do 4 days a week? Are you wanting to work for 4 hours? So it's putting in that little bit of a structure to be able to support your business and where you're headed. It can be things like auditing your energy and time, like setting up, basically, simple is the foundation of your business. So it is very simple automations, very simple systems, very simple structure. That's what simple is, okay? So we're going to have teachings, templates, SOPs, all of the things within that section. And then we have soft. Soft is all around identity work. It is mindset shifting. It is nervous system regulation. It is leadership. It is team building. So that is soft. So everything, all the support that you need mentally, physically, spiritually, will be in soft. Again, we have teachings, we have templates, we have all of the things. And then we have scalable. So scalable is what's going to take your simple and soft and move it to the moon, right? You are going to reach for the stars. That is the DM automations. That is the email funnels. That is the front end funnels. That is the back end funnels. That is everything that takes your business that's already working, and how we can remove you from being the person to always do the thing and like sell the thing and to show up for the thing, and putting systems in place to be able to do that for you. Sometimes it may be ads. Again, sometimes it may be email funnels. Sometimes it's like an actual content repurposing process, like all of those things. So again, that is its own module. So it'll have teachings and templates and SOPs within that as well. So what we're going to be doing is, again, it depends on where you are in your business. It is going to start at $77 a month. So you can come in, do what you need to do. You can leave, you can stay, because you may start in simple, and as your business grows, you may be moving throughout each module. And I'm even currently working on creating a customized GPT where it'll ask you questions and prompts to understand where you are in your business, because maybe you think you're in one area of your business, but where you actually need the most support would be in a different area. So it's going to be a custom GPT where it'll prompt you, ask you questions, and then point you in the right module and direction of where you need to go. Now, I'm really excited for this. Okay, so it is going to start out at $77 a month. And the reason I say start out is because $77 a month will give you access to everything within this membership, excluding monthly calls. So I understand that there's a difference between information and implementation, right? If I sound a little stuffy, I'm sorry, but I had to get this podcast out because I'm really excited. So anyways, there's a difference between information and implementation. And I wanted to find the bridge and the way that I could make that gap smaller for you. And so I want to do monthly, like, I wouldn't call them coaching or mentorship calls, but they're more of like implementation calls. And I can mentor you on them. I can do all of those things on the calls. But if you're, having a problem and you need help diagnosing something, if there's a tech issue, if you're working through a launch and you're like, it's just not making sense to me, do you think I need X, Y, and Z? Or if you're like, I'm trying to hire this team member, or I have this team member and this isn't working, can you help me work through that problem? Like, those are the things that we're going to do on the calls. So if you want to add the calls, then instead of $77 $127 a month, it'll be $127 a month. And then outside of that, you can also work with me in the agency, or I'm going to also offer just like intensive strategy sessions. So if you're someone that's like, I need you one-on-one for 90 minutes to help me understand and diagnose this issue, please come and support me. Or if you're like, I want to start this business, or I have this business, but I feel like my tech stack just doesn't make sense. I feel like I'm working way harder than I need to be. Get on a call with me and we will walk through it. So there will be 3 ways moving through 2026 currently where we are that you can work with me. We have the agency, we have Scale Like a Girl or Mama, however it ends up turning out, and then we have intensive. So those are the 3 ways that you can work with me in 2026. That is where the business is moving, and honestly, I'm so freaking excited because I just truly have a passion for seeing women win, because I know when I can support someone win, that means I win, okay? I know when I focus on presence and support and servant leadership and all of those things, that is when my business scales. That's when the profit happens. That's when all of that becomes a byproduct, because my number one goal is you. If I can show up for you better, if I can teach you more, if I can support you more, if there are ways that I can help you win bigger, I want to do that. But not because of my own selfish needs, because that is just truly how God has designed me. He has designed me to be there to support people and to show up for people. And I think that's why I've loved operations so much, is because I get to do that through the back end of your business, right? So anyways, that is what we have for 2026. There's so much that I'm working on. This podcast is going to stay because it is a huge project and passion of mine. I love having conversations. We are starting to get guest interviews, which is something that I am obsessed with. Having conversations with people is something that I so enjoy. As you know, I can talk and I can yap, and I love it. I love different perspectives. I love different conversations. I love being able to open my mind to how other people think and see things, because we're not always the smartest person in the room, guys, okay? We can learn from each other, and I think that is such a powerful tool that we do not utilize enough. And I am just so excited for where this podcast is going, where the business is going, and I love you guys so much. I know I say this a million times, but like truly from the bottom of my heart, the people that are constantly in my DMs, like celebrating me and talking to me and like really freaking cheerleadering me up is like everything that I could have imagined, and actually it's better than everything that I would have ever imagined, and I just appreciate the support. So I will see you in the next episode, and stay soft.